Welcome to the Executive Coach Podcast, where I help high achievers move from box ticking busy work to designing spacious lives that they're excited to wake up to. And today's episode is going to be short but powerful. And it is a reset for that final quarter or final chapter of the year. Now, you might be feeling like your goals have gone off track or you can't remember what they were. You're not alone. I had to stop to remember what my word of the year was. These things happen a quarter, 90 days. So much can happen in it that we can forget what happened before that. Particularly after the summer, it's such a sort of a change of pace that we can have forgotten what we were focused on before. I've got a really simple reset for you today. A question to ask yourself, which is, what is that one thing between now and New Year's Eve that I could do that would make me feel genuinely proud? If you're a champagne sipper, then as you're toasting or sipping that glass of champagne on the 31st of December, what are you going to feel super proud of that you have achieved by the 31st? If you're not a champagne drinker, whatever you're doing to celebrate the end of the year, and we're just looking for one thing. Now, actually coming up with one is its own challenge. Once you do come up with it, though, it will give you so much simplicity and clarity. If you're really struggling to come up with one, you could look at 3 different dimensions. You could say one big thing in work, one big thing in personal, and one big thing in your relationships, for example, or pick some other categories. But what I like about this at this point in the year is that it cuts through perfectionism and it also doesn't make you feel like you've got to do it all. But 90 days is a wonderful period of time. A lot of resets are based on 90 days. A lot of programs are based on 90 days. You can have a lot of change over 90 days. I want to give you some examples because remember, we have input goals, like me showing up to strength train 3 times at the gym. And we have outcome goals. We have outcome goals like me being able to finally do that pull up. Now, I can't completely control that outcome of being able to do a pull up. So if I put that as a goal, then I don't necessarily want to put a time frame on it. And it is a personal goal of mine, but it's not one that I'm planning to achieve by Christmas, for example. I want to do it when my body is ready to do that, but I'm willing to put the time and effort into the training required. So let me give you some examples of what this could look like. It could be that at work, you could have pitched yourself for a new role or an internal move that you've been circling. You've known you want to do it. It's important, but it's never the urgent thing. But you actually go and do that thing, back yourself up, show up in the area that you want to be thought leader in and become really visible about that. So it could be speaking at a town hall or sharing some thought leadership, dialing up your visibility in an area that you care about. Or it could be thinking about a key pivot that you want to make and quietly preparing for that. Again, that's the input. And then the actual pivot can come when it's ready. You might have that conversation with your manager or your sponsor, somebody that can have a big impact on your career that you've been wanting to have, but you've been putting off. It's never quite the right time. For me, I think it's going to be something to do with my new brand, either having it launched, named, something in that realm might be my work one thing that I would be toasting on New Year's Eve. Examples on the personal front. Often a challenge is really nice here. So last year I had a 10K race that I was planning for, and that was literally on the 31st of December. And it was just a great thing to have during what is a very socially busy quarter, right? October, November, December, loads of festivals and get-togethers, and to have that as one thing that I was planning. And I really look forward to it. I did it with a cousin, so it was fun, and we definitely enjoyed the glass of bubbly afterwards. Or it could be something like training consistently 3 times a week. I mentioned that one. That's something that I have started to do this year. What I haven't necessarily done is week in, week out, made it 3 times a week. I do 2 times as a default, and when possible, that third one. So it could be a goal to be sort of non-negotiable about those 3 times a week. The other things that you could be considering from a personal perspective, reading a book that you've been meaning to read for ages, or doing a course in an area that you've always wanted to develop in. It could be work related, or it could be a personal hobby. And there's something that has a beginning and a middle and an end about just doing a course in an area that you're interested in. When it comes to relationships, you might have like a key relationship that you need to put some work into or that you need to release. You might need to have a difficult conversation. Or it could be something lovely like you're going to have lovely Sunday evening dinners as a family because they're quite busy during the week. For me this year, I've actually done a lot of external and internal work around my relationship. So I'm actually just going to go with the flow here because I know this is a really sociable quarter. I'm just going to enjoy it, and I'm going to enjoy the different relationships that I have in my life. I don't feel like I can add any more goals on that front. So those are just some examples, but remember, we want to keep this super simple. What's one thing that you can toast to, that you can feel like you put the work into over the next 90-ish days or 90 plus days before the end of the year? Something that will make you proud on New Year's Eve, and something that will set you up for a great 2026. So if you come up with something, please drop me a note on LinkedIn and let me know. I will put my link to that in the show notes. And of course, if you think actually that one thing is getting clear on my vision so that I'm set up for 2026, you've got access to my Vision Unblocked, my short, powerful 3-day program. It's the perfect thing to do this quarter. Unblock that powerful vision and then working towards it. That will also be in the show notes, especially if you feel your energy's been scattered recently and you just want something to get you on track. It's the perfect thing. All right, I look forward to connecting with you next time. Bye-bye.